Good day and welcome back to the Flying Doctor channel. Today we got a special trip planned because we're going to a brand new destination for Delta Airlines. We first need to get ourselves over to Los Angeles. Come with me, let's go check in at Atlanta and hop aboard an American Airlines A321 headed to LAX so we can get on this brand new inaugural flight to Brisbane. Sit back, relax, get ready for another flight review.
I won't bother much with the formalities and review of this flight over to LAX. Check-in was simple, whether you do it online or at the self-service kiosk. We were departing out of the T gates, which, excluding Southwest, is where a majority of non-Delta flights operate out of, usually. The aircraft delivering me over to Los Angeles this evening is a 9-year-old A321. I was in economy seat 20 Alpha, which, minus the dirty tray table, was comfortable and modern-looking.
American 2221, RNAV slaw, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, 27 right, RNAV is slaw, American 2221.
American Airlines operates out of Terminal 4 and 5 at LAX, and rather than exiting the secure area and making a quick walk through one of the parking garages, I decided to take the long route and walk through T5, T4, the international terminal, and over to tonight's gate.
Alright, we're at the gate. Quite early, but festivities should be beginning in about an hour or so, I'm told. You may be asking yourself, why is this such a special flight? Besides the fact that it is an inaugural flight. Many of you probably know that the capital of Australia is not Sydney. No, it's actually Canberra. Delta's only direct flight from the US to Australia is actually to Sydney. But we're not going to Sydney, we're not going to Canberra, we're going to the third most populous city in Australia, which is Brisbane. It is the capital of Queensland, and why might Delta be adding a route to Brisbane? Besides the fact that it's a beautiful city, has great weather, great people, Brisbane will be hosting the 2032 Summer Olympics. So there's a lot of growth in the city right now, and I expect that the Delta flight planners, schedulers have factored in increased demand for flights to Brisbane. Before we get to the party though, I think it's time to hit a lounge. Hopefully they let me in. I'm a little more than 3 hours, but I was on a connecting flight, so that should be okay.
Delta's Sky Club, located between T2 and T3, is one of the airline's largest, with 2 separate buffets, an indoor and outdoor bar, and what I was hunting for, a shower. I'm always envious of these shower suites. Aren't they nice?
Okay, they let me in. They overrode the system. And it is amazing what a shower can do for you. Got some dinner here for the pre-flight meal. Some ribs, they look pretty good, smell good. Sweet potatoes, I don't know, they're pale, but let's see how they taste.
It was about 9 p.m. Pacific, and time for the party to begin. I think Hawaiian Airlines has set the bar far too high for inaugural flight celebrations. I almost asked to take the cutout of the koalas catching a ride on the Delta jet or the red ribbon.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Would you like a ground beef fry?
Yeah,
Here, let me get you a warm one.
a warm one. Thank you.
Of course,
Delta did cater a few local Aussie treats, including Anzac biscuits and a ground beef pie. Shortly after finishing the beef pie, a little giveaway began.
There's little papers that says if you're a winner or not, so go ahead and look underneath your seat, guys. If you're the winner, please.
Several hours earlier, staff had taped pieces of paper under most seats in the boarding area around the gate with one winner. The person who found the winning ticket won a model of November 522 Delta Zulu, the A350 that is taking us to Brisbane tonight.
2, 1.
There you have it. Flight is open.
After making sure the pilots got their share of beef pies, boarding commenced.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to switch over and utilize the general boarding lane here.
Hello, go to the camera. Thank you,
Thank
Gaston.
you.
Here's that.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome
Hello.
aboard. Can I help you find your seat?
A.
Welcome aboard this baby A350-900 wearing the LA-28 livery, which was configured to be a high premium cabin. In front of door 2L are 2 lavatories and 32 Delta One seats. An additional 8 Delta One seats are installed after the galley over the wings. 5 rows of Delta Premium Select seats account for an additional 40 seats, followed by 36 Comfort Plus seats and 159 Standard Economy seats. Excluding the forward 2 lavatories in Delta One, 6 additional lavs are available.
Alright, all on board here. And obviously this exit row in the A350 is superb. If only I could just lay on the floor. But we got a nice window seat here. Thankfully there's a window to view. Got a nice wing overlook. And a bit of a surprise, I guess. A little postcard sort of thing upon boarding. And we'll see what that means when we get into Brisbane. But we have the standard incoming passenger card to Australia. On our seat was the regular Delta pillow with blanket. I know from the past that this pillow is not too great when it comes to comfort, but it'll do. Once we get airborne, I'm planning to remove my eyeballs, put on the 3rd and 4th eyes, and probably move around the cabin, maybe find myself a full row to lay down. We'll see.
Ground Delta 93 Heavy, ready for taxi. Information, Leela.
Delta 93 Heavy, pass behind the coming heavy jet, runway 24 left, taxi via Echo.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we are currently number 1 for takeoff. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin.
Delta 93 Heavy, RNAV Del Rey, wind 360 at 5, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff. Delta 93 Heavy, clear for takeoff, RNAV Del Rey. Delta 93 Heavy, contact SoCal, departure seat. Delta 93 Heavy, switch in. Good night, sir.
If you ever find yourself in an exit row and aren't familiar with where the tray table is or your IFE, pay attention. This aircraft is equipped with full-size power outlets and inflatable life vest beneath the seat. Yes, that is a USB-C plug as well. After flipping up the armrest cover, tray tables can be pulled up, flopped over onto your lap, and unfolded. Your IFE screen is also tucked between the 2 seats and can be accessed by pressing the release button and pulling the arm out.
Okay, dinner has turned up. It is just after midnight, 12:05. I have pushed through so that I could see the meal because I would like to try and sleep. But it was the Chipotle chicken, and then the other option was a vegetarian panna cotta. Let's get this unwrapped and see what it looks like and it tastes like. Okay, I didn't notice earlier, there's Vegemite. We'll give it a go with the crackers. And then for dessert is the packaged brownie. But I will tell you, this Chipotle chicken definitely has a good smell to it. After unwrapping it, a cloud of aroma burst out of that foil and into my nose. It smells pretty good. And for the side dish, it looks like it's little corn sort of salad. But hey, smells good, looks good. Let's hope it tastes good. Doesn't really matter as long as it fills me up, right? And doesn't get me food poisoning. So let's see how it is.
I was thinking about wooden utensils since I always have issues with them. And I'm going to have to do the math because I was thinking it might actually be more earth-friendly to use the wooden cutlery, because if you think about using reusable silverware, they're going to weigh a lot more than this wood, and depending on how much utensils you bring on board, it's kind of dictate how much fuel you need to load onto the aircraft. Flavorful little salad here. Wet the palate, per se. So the chicken is a little bit dry, but it is a very flavorful dish. It is, for whatever reason, given me some hint of Indian. Maybe my taste buds are just jacked up right now from the altitude. Yeah, it has a little spice to it, but it's not horrible at all. It's tasty though. The main dish is done. Time to bust into the Vegemite. I think this is actually my first time trying it, so forgive me if I make an inappropriate face. I think that's a good, healthy first dab, right? Honestly, I don't know. I guess salty? Yeah, I'd say salty. I'll have to try some when I get on the ground. Up in the air, it's not horrible. I usually don't use sauce. I don't use ketchup on my fries or chips. So I wouldn't be doing it in normal daily routine. And just like that, it is 12:20 a.m. Plate is cleared. FAs are blasting through the cabin tonight. They don't have a full cabin to serve, so it's time to try and get some rest. Been up for almost 24 hours now, and I think it'd be good to get some sleep and try and get on time zone for the other side of the world. Hopefully I can get some sleep, but you'll know pretty soon whether or not that worked. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, germs and girls, boys and girls. It is, I believe, 8 a.m. Pacific time, meaning we've been in the air for about 8 hours, so a little more than half of the flight has been completed. I got, I think, 4.5 hours of broken sleep at my assigned seat, and then took a break from sleeping and had a Biscoff and crackers, and then moved to an empty row, and I just got some more sleep. The flight attendants did pass up and down the aisles offering drinks, which woke me up, but it is what it is, and I'm gonna get up, do a walking around, take a look at the cabin, and probably get another Biscoff. Okay, well, as you can see, the sun has risen. I enjoyed the sunrise. It's a little bit cloudy out, but it doesn't really matter still. We have some great views out the window. I'm just watching some Jeopardy right now, like an old man. We're about 4 hours out, so covering some ground here. Done some walking around the cabin. Really isn't a whole lot going on. A lot of other people up and about, stretching, brushing their teeth as it's morning to some, afternoon to others. Either way. Alright, according to the flight tracker, we have 1.5 hours remaining, and we're still over water, but there was breakfast now available, and the choice was a chocolate hazelnut breakfast calzone or the egg, cheese, and spinach calzone. We're gonna unwrap that here and take a look. I don't know what is in the mystery container. Probably fruit. That would be probably a pretty darn good guess based off the F, and then some yogurt. So let me go ahead and unwrap this and we'll give it a try. Alrighty, the F did stand for fruit. It's like cantaloupe and pineapple. And then I got water and a black coffee. I'm gonna eat the fruit first and the yogurt, and then we'll check out the calzone. I've complained a lot about wooden utensils. My opinion is not changing, I still hate them, but I'm learning to live with them. One of the things I've learned on this flight in particular is, to a degree, they need to be pre-wet. Otherwise, the first bite you take feels like a piece of dry wood scraping your mouth. Luckily, I haven't had any splinters yet, but I can imagine it might happen. Just some advice for future travelers. It's okay. Cheesy. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of egg in there. Mainly bread, but it's food. So I was just having a little chat with someone, one of the other passengers behind me, and he has some high praises for Delta. He was saying it's much more comfortable, flight attendants, flight crews much more friendly on Delta, food was better. So I don't know. I think I'm going to have to book a flight with Qantas internationally and really put that to the test in economy. Right now there's only 2 airlines between LA and Brisbane operating direct flights, and that is Qantas and now Delta. I'm sure American Airlines as well as United will be adding direct flights between those 2 cities as we near the 2032 Olympics. There's definitely a lot of development in Brisbane in preparation for those Olympics, and just in general, the city's growing.
To prepare for landing, please ensure that your seatbelt is fastened, your seat back and tray table.
Just about an hour away from the city, so do final cabin preparation, put our bags up into the overhead locker, and enjoy what's left of the vast nothingness of the Pacific Ocean before we can see land.
Brisbane Tower, Delta 93, inbound 19 right.
Delta 93 Heavy, Brisbane Town, good morning. And Delta 93, welcome to Brisbane.
Delta 93, thank you.
Where the local time is 7:19 a.m.
Total flight time tonight, or this morning, was 14 hours and 33 minutes, and we covered just shy of 7,200 miles. Brisbane has an awesome setup for plane spotting, and you should definitely check out the full-length video they've put on YouTube of today's landing. For all other plane spotting at Brisbane, check out Julia Flights, or visit yourself at the Acacia Street Loop spotting area. We made it to Brisbane, and the inaugural flight by Delta is completed and in the books. I really hope that this is a good start for Delta and Brisbane's expansion and their presence in the world, on the world stage. Let's get through passport control and enter Australia, and then we'll get final summaries on, how the product is and some more information about Brisbane. Time to figure out what that surprise upon arrival was that the postcard mentioned at the beginning of the flight.
Is that a Fly Delta Jets t-shirt?
Sure is.
Yes! I love it.
Wear it proudly.
Do you work for Delta?
And a return home for others.
Brisbane's my favorite Australia city, so I was really looking forward to being back here.
So it's great.
I fit in.
There you go.
All right.
Next time there's an inaugural flight, I'll be better prepared for an interview, but I was just happy to be on the ground and back in Australia.
Thank you.
The Fly Delta Jets shirt definitely caught eyes in the arrival hall, and getting a photo in front of the stage was a must. It was time to find my way downtown, and luckily, it was a piece of cake. The Brisbane Air train station is connected right to the international and domestic terminals, making transport to downtown cheap and efficient. A return ticket cost around $20 Australian, which was worth it to me.
All stations. The next station is Eagle Junction. Customers for the Sunshine Coast, Caboolture, Red Cliff Peninsula.
I unfortunately didn't call or plan ahead and didn't get early check-in, but ended up getting a haircut and walking around quite a bit. Brisbane is quite a beautiful city, and it was a great day outside.
Okay, we made it to the hotel, and check it out. This is pretty decent. The Ibis Brisbane on Elizabeth Street. It's an Accor hotel. 16th floor. Check out the view here. Well, look at that. Got the Brisbane River with Ferris wheel, and then a pretty cool looking new hotel, the Star. Some older buildings below. Anyways, that was a long flight. I'm pretty tired. I'm pretty, sweaty, gross. I've walked around quite a bit in Brisbane. They were nice enough to let me check in a bit early. Thankfully, thank you to the staff here. But yeah, overall decent flight. It's always great when you have so much room to spread out in a long haul flight like that when the flight is not booked completely, but that's not always what we get. But on the next adventure that we take, we'll be hopping across a smaller pond, headed to another island nation, also known as New Zealand, on China Airlines. So if you're interested, I encourage you to stick around for the next video in about 2 weeks or so. But until then, thanks for watching. See ya.